The man fell off the boat and hasn't been seen since. And now this morning, that search will resume here in Black Creek at 9 a.m. These are some of the boats that will be used. The bouncer here at Dos Gatos was not the shooter. We do know the suspect is in custody. One of those bullets actually hit the back of an 83-year-old woman's car. And I just spoke with her. She says 2 months ago, there was another shooting involving the same people. And you could see at least 3 bullet holes in the house next door. Lily is in therapy daily. Her mother, Christina Bateman, says she is doing well with all things considered, but the crash left her daughter with a traumatic brain injury. Officer Jason Rayner remains in critical condition in the hospital fighting for his life. More than 34 hours later, the search continues this morning for 29-year-old Othel Wallace. 3 within the past 2 months, and now the latest tragedy, a stuffed animal wrapped in what looks like to be a baby blanket in memory of the 4-year-old girl whose body was recovered from this retention pond. Now, city leaders and neighbors are looking to take immediate action. A 14-year-old boy has been arrested and charged with culpable negligence. Now a family is left mourning the tragic death of a 6-year-old boy. COVID hit hard, but these boxers are ready to punch back. Since March, the boxers have been training 3 times a week, getting ready for tomorrow's event. It's more than a boxing charity event. It's a way for all the boxers to be connected. Here it is. We want to show it to you live right now. Air Force 2 is just about to take off the tarmac here at Jacksonville International Airport. Since TJ Pass went through this himself, and now he's 15 years sober, he's holding the flashlight for families across the country, offering hope and education. Mayor Lenny Curry is calling for immediate action by allowing natural growth around retention ponds to create natural barriers to prevent these tragedies for both city and private ponds. Now this morning we see a teddy bear sitting here. This is a memorial. It looks like it's wrapped around a baby blanket with flowers in memory of the 4-year-old girl who was found at this pond yesterday morning. Investigators say surveillance video shows a 4-year-old girl wandering across the street while her mother was doing yard work in their Argyle Forest neighborhood. Hours later, the little girl was found in a nearby retention pond.
She said that my daughter got out.
Neighbor Sonny Kirby saw the girl's mother looking for her. Kirby is calling for change.
There's a retention pond right behind her house, and there is no gate around that retention pond whatsoever. There needs to be a law for fence, privacy fence, a minimum of 6 feet high, to where children don't look at the water and think that it's attractive.
Following the death of the 4-year-old girl yesterday, Councilmember Jacoby Pittman shared this statement. Unfortunately, these retention ponds are essential to developments, but has been a hazard and are contributing to the drowning of innocent children. Councilwoman Leanna Cumber and I are passionate about this tragic issue that has affected families in the last few months. Our efforts are to look at other models, such as Tallahassee, to develop legislation and safety precautions for the retention pond. A News4Jax I-Team report found there are 240 retention ponds in Duval County that are maintained by the city of Jacksonville. There are even more that are privately owned, like the one where the little girl died yesterday. Not all have fences, and they're not required to. We found 10 complaints sent to the city about the safety of retention ponds since the start of this year. Jacksonville City Council members have previously met with state regulators to figure out how to move forward with new safety requirements for retention ponds across Duval County, but they have not introduced new legislation as of yet. Councilmember Pittman says a meeting is being scheduled for city agencies like the Public Works Department so they can meet with private stakeholders to discuss how everyone can move forward. We'll keep you updated about those developments on the meeting. Reporting live this morning from the Argyle Forest neighborhood, Brittany Muller, Channel 4, the local station. A 14-year-old boy has been arrested and charged with culpable negligence. Now a family is left mourning the tragic death of a 6-year-old boy. A woman who identified herself as the 6-year-old boy's grandmother says her grandson's name was Danny Way III. She described this situation as a freak accident. According to JSO, Way was in a bedroom watching TV when he found a gun. Investigators say the 6-year-old boy shot himself in the head. Police say a 14-year-old has been charged in connection for improperly storing the gun. He had possession of the weapon earlier that day.
One of the things we always cover is the importance of safe storage.
Eric Friday is the general counsel for Florida Carry and is known for his advocacy in firearms law. He says it's not uncommon for a child to gain access to guns in the home.
Florida law requires that if you have reason to believe that children might gain access to a firearm in your home, that you have to store it in some way where a reasonable person would not expect the child to gain access.
According to our News4Jax records, last June, a 2-year-old boy was accidentally shot to death in a Panama Park home. No charges were filed. In 2019, a mother was sentenced to 7 years in prison, and her boyfriend was sentenced to 1 year after a 2-year-old got a hold of a gun in their West Side apartment and fatally shot himself. Friday stresses that gun owners can use a trigger lock or store in a quick-release safe for safekeeping. News4Jax crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson agrees with that and educating kids about guns.
I understand the concern about, well, if I need it in a hurry, I don't need to be going through motions. Would you rather be going through these motions that the family is going through now as opposed to the alternative? I say not.
Police say Way's parents do not live at the home. Records show they are both serving time in prison. Investigators say they questioned the 7 kids and adults who were at the home at the time of the shooting, and that's how they learned the 14-year-old was connected. Now, again, police say the teen has been arrested and charged with culpable negligence. Reporting live tonight outside the Duval County Jail, Brittany Muller, Channel 4, the local station. The Department of Transportation says distracted driving is always a challenge. As for the road ranger who was hit by the car on Monday, he's expected to be okay and wants to return back to the job. Tina Dickerson is the road ranger supervisor. I went on a ride along with Dickerson.
TMC, this is Route 2.
Our first stop, responding to a broken down car on the side of the I-10 ramp to I-95.
People are attracted when they see lights. They start looking over, and then the steering wheel starts following with them.
And that's one of the most dangerous things that could happen.
That's where we are. You gotta watch your back.
Dickerson loaded a gallon of gas, always looking over her shoulder, especially on a curve like this one. Then the car needed a jump start.
The primary objective is for each one of us to go home every night. That's the goal. Get us home, get the motorists home, keep the highways clear and safe.
On Monday, troopers say a 27-year-old road ranger was picking up traffic cones, like Dickerson is doing here. The ranger was on I-95 South at University Boulevard when a driver hit him. He is okay.
Anytime you need us, make sure you dial star 347.
Dickerson cleared the shoulder within 30 minutes.
TMC truck 213. Motorist is back on the road. I'll be back on patrol.
She also helped a minivan driver with a flat. She says drivers should pay attention to these message boards. And when you see flashing lights, move over.
And a shoulder seems like a safe spot. But the reality is when there's a motorist going and a car stops short in front of them, their first reaction is to avoid that car in front of them, so they swerve to the shoulder.
The Florida Department of Transportation says in 2020 there has been 5 crashes involving road rangers here in Duval County. This year, there's been 4.